Los Angeles jury has found Meta and YouTube liable in a landmark case over claims their platforms harmed children. The ruling could reshape how social media companies are held accountable. NTD's Christina Corona reports from the courthouse.
A verdict was made in the landmark social media addiction trial accusing big tech companies Instagram and YouTube of designing platforms that are addictive and harmful to children. The decision was made Wednesday morning after 9 days of jury deliberations. At the center of the case is 20-year-old Kaylee GM, who testified she began using YouTube at age 6 and Instagram at 9, often spending hours on the apps. After 5 weeks of testimony from experts, executives, and whistleblowers, jurors weighed whether Kaylee's mental health struggles were driven by social media or other factors like family history and environment. Her attorneys argued the app's features like endless scrolling, autoplay, and notifications were designed to keep young users hooked, contributing to depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and body dysmorphia. Jurors agreed, finding both companies negligent in how their platforms were designed and operated, and saying that negligence was a substantial factor in Kaylee's mental health struggles.
The verdict was a finding of liability on all counts against both Meta and YouTube. They found that Meta was negligent in the way they designed and operated their platform. They found that Meta failed to give what a reasonable company should give as warnings.
Jurors awarded Kaylee $3 million in damages and also decided how responsibility should be split between the two companies.
They put 70% on Meta. They put 30% on YouTube. Then they gave findings that both of them acted in ways that constitute conduct that should be punished.
Jurors also found both companies acted with malice, meaning they will now consider additional punitive damages that could significantly increase the total amount owed. Meta and Google say they disagree with the verdict. Meta says it is weighing its legal options, while Google says it plans to appeal. Parents who say their children were harmed by social media platforms call the decision a major step toward accountability.
Stop blaming the parents. It's on you. And this is what this is showing today. And for parents, we now know that they were manipulating our children for profits while we were watching and trying to keep our families safe.
This comes just 1 day after a jury ruled Meta must pay $375 million for violating New Mexico law in a child exploitation case. Reporting from downtown Los Angeles, Christina Corona, NTD News.
And Gerard, there's been comparisons to the legal campaigns against big tobacco in the 1990s. Your thoughts on that?
I think those comparisons are apt, and what we have to remember here is that although this was one case with a $6 million ultimately between compensatory and punitive damages, this was one plaintiff, and this may open the floodgates to additional claims by additional plaintiffs across the country, and that adds up. $6 million here, $6 million there. It actually does put a dent even in the budgets or even in the income of major companies like Meta and Google. So at the end of the day, there is potential here. If these cases are sustained on appeal, there is a potential for there to be a substantial shift in the marketing structure of these apps, because companies will be exposed to significant liability. So just as with tobacco companies and the cases there that led to settlements that led to changes in advertising, changes in manufacturing processes, and increased restrictions, we may see that happening in the market for social media companies as well.